So you may remember, if you've been hanging around here for a while, a few years now, you may remember we reported on an incident involving a superyacht named Utopia 4 and an oil tanker named MV Tropic Breeze. The yacht crashed into this tanker in December 2021. It was around the 23rd, 24th of December 2021 in the Bahamas. We'd reported on it at the time, and we've done subsequent videos on this subject. Now, for those of you who missed it, we've had a lot of new subscribers since then. The yacht was traveling at speed at night, around 19 knots in the Bahamas, and it hit the rear quarter of the tanker, which was reported, well, actually, we noticed that it wasn't transmitting the AIS location at the time. The yacht that was owned by the Marcus America co-founder J.R. Riddinger was on charter at the time, which is interesting. We'll come back to that in a little bit. As you can see, the footage of the people thrown across the room here, this is when the yacht impacted the rear section of that tanker. As a result of the collision, the tanker sank. All of the crew were rescued by another yacht in the area, motor yacht Amara, that responded to distress calls. Utopia 4 was also involved in that rescue of the crew of the tanker, but as their yacht had sustained damage to the hull, or to the bow of the ship, there's actually a hole in the hull there. They were unsure about their own safety, and as a result, all of the survivors of the tanker were transported to the Amara instead. Now, following the accident, a series of allegations were made against the captain of that yacht, who was on watch at the time of the accident. He was supposed to be on the bridge. It was alleged that he'd been on watch with a lookout, and although that lookout was not qualified to take the watch, the captain left him alone on the bridge for over 10 minutes leading up to this collision. It was also later claimed the captain had been under the influence of alcohol at the time. Now, as the yacht arrived back at the port after the accident in the Bahamas, it's alleged by the crew that the captain almost crashed the yacht again and was being shouted at over the radio by the port control. At this point, the chief officer took over and docked the yacht safely. A number of the crew sustained injuries in this accident, and they were taken to hospital. Some have described their injuries as life-changing. Now, the owner, J.R. Riddinger, passed away in 2022 from a pulmonary embolism whilst on another yacht in Croatia, and the yacht is now owned by his widow, Lauren Riddinger. 3 of the crew injured in that collision took the owner to court for failing to pay wages to the crew after the accident and also failing to pay for their medical care. The ETO, or electrotechnical officer, the chief engineer, and a deckhand were all injured that night. The ETO said that he was thrown from his feet, hitting a wall, and then the floor, sustaining injuries. After the collision, he said he went to the engine room to check the damage, and on the way down, he passed the captain who was heading up from the engine room, who was supposed to be on the bridge at the time of the crash. The ETO explained that after the incident, the stabilizers of the yacht were not switched into zero speed mode, which means they weren't working, causing the yacht to roll heavily, and this caused him to fall again, injuring his leg. He was diagnosed with severe injuries to his left ankle, including multiple fractures to the foot and also injured nerves, tendons and ligaments. The chief engineer described 5 separate incidents where he was injured on board, including one of those incidents was the crash with the tanker in the Bahamas. His injuries including loss of hearing from an explosion of a lithium battery, poisoning from smoke inhalation, loss of voice, shortness of breath and other complaints. And the deckhand was injured during the crash when he was thrown against the wall in the galley where he was helping clean dishes. The deckhand said he received basic treatment at a hospital in the Bahamas before returning to the US. The deckhand eventually was diagnosed with multiple foot fractures and PTSD. All 3 of them said that whilst they initially received their wages, the wages were abruptly cut off whilst on medical leave, with payments for medical expenses having been delayed multiple times, according to the complaint. The ETO, the chief engineer, and the deckhand all sued for failure to provide prompt and adequate care and wages, a Jones Act negligence and unseaworthiness against the yacht and Utopia Yachting LLC. Now, we spoke to the ETO today, who told us the following. He said the yacht had been operating an illegal bareboat charter, and since Utopia is a private yacht, not a commercial chartering yacht, their insurance company declined to cover the collision. A bareboat charter basically means that somebody, it's a way of skirting the law. They charter the boat without a crew, and then the person who charters them the boat suggests that they use this crew, which just happens to be the crew that's already on board. It's the same thing that happened with the Nakoa in Hawaii when it crashed onto the beach there. That was involved in a bareboat charter as well. Going back to the ETO, he said it's what's known as an uninsured loss. In other words, the owner of the yacht, Lauren Riddinger, who refused to pay our wages for the last 39 months, would be responsible for paying our judgments other than some insurance company. After a couple of days of deliberation, the jury gave the verdict, which the ETO explained, saying it was effectively meant that they had lost the case. He said the decision is called a defense victory. It's when we technically win, but we receive almost nothing for a judgment from the jury. He went on to say that there's now a legal US precedent that says a US flagged owner does not have a duty of care to provide maintenance and cure to the injured crew any longer. The court case started in March of this year and it was completed on the 16th of April, which lasted about 3 weeks, but it's been, 4 years since that accident. Thanks very much for watching this video. You've been watching a SuperYacht News clip. If you'd like to see the full unedited SuperYacht News video, you can click on the link over here. You can also find our channel links below here. And if you'd like to see more shorter videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel.